So on today's burning issues, I want to talk about something that, um, as per usual, I've been thinking about over the week. I'm touch a bit longer, but it's kind of crystallized this week, and that is all about vocabulary that we use, particularly in the business community, and even more specifically in the technology and startup space. And an awful lot of this language is bandied around on social media, it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook. It seems to me to be Instagram to be the place where it's found most. And this is the culture of, hustle and chasing, and in the sales capacity, it's very animalistic. So, you've got words such as, say, chase, target, grind, hustle, relentless, blood, sweat, and tears, execute. And then when you've done something really successful, you've got crush it, smash it, nailed it, killed it. Like, all these terms are so aggressive and so hunter gatherer, like Stone Age, that I just think they're really, really negative. And then, on top of that, you've got grueling, you've got knocking doors down, you've got challenge, you've got obsession, you've got all these terms that are bandied around. We're told that you've got to do all those things and be all those things in order to be successful. And I'm here to tell you that's just not the case. The way the terms are used, the actual connotations, absolutely, yes, you got to put in the work. Yes, you've got to find opportunities. But I think just start to change the language that you use. For example, a slightly different example would be when people say to you, I don't have the time, change that round and say, it's not a priority for me right now. Because it's not, you don't have the time. Everyone's got the time to do what they want to do. We've all got 24 hours in a day. Just say what you actually mean. It's not like I haven't got the time. It's that I haven't got the time to dedicate to this. In other words, other things are a priority over this right now. That's why I'm unable to speak to you or unable to engage with you or whatever the case may be. And in terms of some of the other words that I mentioned previously, I'd like to suggest some alternatives. So rather than chasing, particularly in the sales capacity, how about the word follow up, which is a completely different way of looking at it, because chasing becomes very irritating. It becomes a call every Monday. What's going on? It becomes an email. It becomes constant barrage. Now, if you've got a great product and you're a great salesman, you're a great business, you should be able to attract people to your business, to your product, to your service. You shouldn't need to all the time be chasing people. Certainly follow up with people. You've spoken to them last week. They said they'd come back to you at a certain point. Don't just leave it for sure, but follow up rather than chase. And then let's go for target. So we often use that in marketing. What's my target market? What's my level? Well, it's not like someone's got a a dartboard on their back or something, where you're throwing a dart and hoping to hit them. No, what you're actually doing is it's approaching, isn't it? It's not targeting. You're approaching certain people. So with allergies, for instance, we are looking to approach certain restaurants. We're not targeting them, because I think, again, targeting is super aggressive, it's super analytic, it's super hunter. Like, we've got to hunt them down to win our supper. That's just not the way things ought to be. And then even a word like negotiate, like let's turn it into collaborator or partnership. Like words like grind and hustle. Again, really, like, is there much value in that? Because working 20 hours a day, grinding or hustling, is that a healthy way to live? Is that worth 3 to 5 years of your life of misery just to grind it out? And again, the word sacrifice. Well, it's not some biblical sacrifice where you're killing the firstborn in order to create a higher purpose. It's not really a sacrifice. It's just a trade-off or an opportunity cost. It's just a a prioritization rather than actually a sacrifice. So you're saying, rather than going out and drinking and not being able to function on Saturday, I'm prioritizing what's important to me. And what's important to me is being able to wake up on that Saturday and do my work. I'm not sacrificing the Friday night. That's a negative way of looking at it. I'm just prioritizing the Saturday. Um, and then, one of the common ones people love is blood, sweat, and tears, or is required. Well, I've had a video on this through the week, and I would turn that into saying passion, purpose, and perseverance. Then we use the word execute to get something done. Again, is there much need for that kind of really aggressive vocabulary? And yeah, I just think people need to realize, particularly people that are leaders or managers or even for themselves. Again, I put a video on the Too Many Cooks YouTube show all about expressionist writing. I interviewed a fellow about expressionist writing, and he was saying the vocabulary that we use has a profound effect on how our brain works and how we see the world. So I challenge people, there you go, using the wrong word myself. I would ask people to really think about the words they're using internally and externally, and the underlying connotations and the behaviors that they may well be promoting within their organization, within their friends and family, etc. And just be a bit more careful of the words that we're using, how we're using them, and what they really mean. So I hope that makes some sense. I hope you understand where I'm coming from there. It comes from personal experience, particularly I was in a very, very salesy environment in the company culture, and lots of these like crush it, smash it, nail it, grind it, hustle, whatever, are always used. And the way in which people was ramming product down customers' throats, increased customer complaints, terrible retention rates, etc., etc. I'm not saying not using these words makes you more successful, less successful. I just think be considerate, and words have effects and meanings beyond. Now, also, it is to be fair in certain locales that some of these terms don't mean the same as what they might mean to me personally or into the UK. But what I would say is that it's treat people how they want to be treated, not how you want to be treated. That's the key message here, that if these terms, it really gets someone going and it motivates them, fair play, that's okay. But I think a lot of the time, particularly in a sales environment, we're creating this dog-eat-dog competition. Competitiveness is great. It creates innovation, it motivates people, inspires people, but to a level. And let's just be more careful again and considerate of how we're using language.